Hello, everybody. My name is Blake Robison, and with me today I have Fred Persinger, the West Virginia State Sportscaster of the Year. Welcome, Fred.
Thank you, Blake. Always a pleasure.
Absolutely. If you're ready, you just want to jump into some questions?
Certainly.
Awesome. So first off, kind of take me through your path, how you got started in this field, and all the stops along the way.
Wow, Blake, it goes back a long way, a long way. I got started just because I needed a job. I think that's the thing. I spent 4 years in the United States Navy. I came out, I was married, and my wife, I guess, wanted to eat 3 times a day. So I had to find a job. And I saw an ad uh, in the local newspaper back then. There was no online, it was in the local newspaper, and just wanted a copywriter at a local 1,000 watt AM radio station in Beckley, West Virginia. Had no idea what a copywriter did, but I applied. I don't know how, but I got the job. And what do they say? The rest is history. I've been in radio now, wow, 53 years, and I've done everything you can imagine. I've done sales. I've been managers of one, two, three, four, five different radio stations. I've been a programmer. I did the morning show for a 50,000 watt country FM for like 15 years. Me and another young lady had a morning show. I came to work for the Metro News Radio Network full time in 2001, and I've been here ever since. I worked on a private contract with them from 1986 until 2001, doing the state tournaments as far as basketball and football. So that kind of encompasses my career, but it's been all radio and all a lot of fun.
So you kind of alluded to it in your answer. Do you have more of like a technical background with it? Because a lot of sportscasters don't have that technical, hands dirty approach, but the ones that do have a special appreciation for this field.
I definitely have a special appreciation, and only in the fact that when we were doing, I did a lot of high school basketball and football for teams, local teams, and throughout my career. And it used to be we would go on the road and you had your fingers crossed that you could get a connection. Well, if you didn't get a connection when you first tried, you had to figure out what was wrong. So sometimes I would always get to game site at least 90 minutes to 2 hours ahead of airtime because you never knew if you were going to get a great connection or whatever the case may be. And then you had to find it because a lot of times you were 60, 70 miles away from your home base. So there was no engineer traveling with us. It was me and my color guy all the time. And so I found different ways to get on the air. I've incorporated someone out of the stands several times that had maybe a little more knowledge of what I was trying to do. But yeah, I definitely have an appreciation for the engineer, no doubt.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the unsung aspect of the broadcasting industry, and I'm always interested to see who kind of has that appreciation for it. But with your journey, when did you, or maybe you didn't, have a moment where you realized you kind of made it, or you're like, yeah, I've got this. I think I can do it.
No, good question, but I think I learned something every time I sit down behind the microphone. I really do. Uh, I've been asked many times over the last 10 years, when do I plan on retiring? And I always say, I guess you have to have a job in order to retire from it because I don't see this as a job. I enjoy getting up and coming to work. I am, it's no secret, everyone knows my birthday by now, but I am 77 years young. Radio has kept me young, and I have no problem. I get up every morning at 4:30. I'm always in my office by 6:30. I get a lot done. I also take care of all the affiliates on our statewide radio network, which are 65 plus. And I get a lot of work done, and then I'm prepared to do whatever I have to do, whether it's get into the production studio to record a lot of things that I have to record or get prepared to do a state tournament broadcast or whatever. So I thoroughly enjoy what I do. So I've told a lot of people, I guess I'll retire when I don't have the voice or when I sit down and I do a ball game And I listen back to it, and I always listen back to my work. And if I listen back to it and I say, man, that wasn't good, then I'll step away because I don't ever want to cheat the kids. Never.
So speaking about like watching your own broadcast, I've talked to some people who they dive deep into their work and overanalyze. So how do you find that balance of being critical and always improving, but also just not tearing yourself apart? Because it's easy to do that.
Yeah, you're right. And I've done it so long that I've learned that. And I learned that the hard way. I used to be one of those guys that if you would just stumble over a word or a mispronunciation, I'd really beat myself up about it. But I realized, wait a minute, it's live radio and or live video, and you're gonna make mistakes. Deal with it. Just make sure you know what you're doing before you sit down. I do my homework. I do my homework. I know the teams I'm going to be broadcasting for. I know the names. I know the starters. I know the background. And if you do your homework, then you're going to have a good broadcast.
So with your journey, it's been a long journey, but is there a moment that sticks out to you as most unexpected or something shocking that happened maybe?
Maybe not shocking. I look back on a lot of my broadcast things that I've been able to do. I've been very, very fortunate in the fact that I got to work several state tournaments with Jack Fleming. And I know you being from West Virginia, you know who Jack Fleming was. And Jack and I worked several state tournaments together. That was always a great thing for me. I was the play-by-play announcer when the state high school basketball single tournament game scoring record was made. And that was several years ago before the three-point line. A young man by the name of Herbie Brooks, who played later at West Virginia University, scored 50 points in a game. And I had the broadcast on that game. And I still think that's one of the better broadcasts I've had. But he made it so easy because everyone was all eyes on him. So it was kind of nice. But, I've had so many opportunities doing this work. You get also the chances to MC a lot of different things. And I have MC a number of special dinners and luncheons. And I've sat beside Shaquille O'Neal and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Jerry West and Hot Rod Hundley and um, on and on it goes. Larry Bird, and it's just amazing the names you can get associated with doing this business. And I think that's what keeps it so exciting. I always get up and say, well, I wonder what's in store today, because you don't know sometimes, and that makes it exciting for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an ever-going adventure of, of unexpected events. Um,
Right?
I kind of want to change pages here a little bit, if that's cool with you. I want to throw a fun question at you.
Sure.
This is probably my favorite question. So, if you could cover any sporting event at any venue, like in the world, do you have like a favorite combination in mind?
But have to be the final four.
Okay.
I love I do, and I've been wonderfully blessed. I do baseball, I do softball, I do basketball, I do football. Uh, but I would think if I could pick one thing, it would be that Monday night game at the Final Four. Yeah, that would be because all eyes are upon that. And it is in such an enclosed atmosphere. I think a lot of folks might say the Super Bowl. Well, the Super Bowl, you are one even of many, many thousands in that arena. In basketball, maybe 14, 15,000 people. It's so close to the action. That's what I like. For me, and I hate to say this, baseball's just not fast enough for me. I think baseball is, to me, the toughest play-by-play to do because there's so much time you have to fill. Football I enjoy immensely, but I guess basketball is my true love, just because you can sit down behind the mic and go. And I love a fast-paced basketball game, up and down the floor, scoring. Forget a shot clock. They should never have invented one. And they'll never, hopefully, have one in West Virginia basketball, but you don't need it because it's so fast-paced. And I guess that's what I like about it.
So going back to your career, you kind of jumped into this not necessarily because of the love of broadcasting, but because you needed a job. But as you've gone in your journey, I know you mentioned Jack Fleming. Are there any people that kind of served as role models to you throughout your career, or even maybe now?
I think when I got started, there was a gentleman that was really like a second dad to me, who's passed now. And he gave me my break. He brought me along. I started working with Tony Gonzalez when he was an owner operator of a small AM. We moved into a 50,000 watt FM together. We stayed there together for like, I was with that company for, wow, 30 years. And so I always give credit to Tony for giving me my start. I think you make your breaks along the way. I mean, you can be happy sitting in one place, but that's never been me. What can I do better today than I did yesterday? And I've been very fortunate to be able to continue to climb the ladder as to where I am today. So, it's I got into radio, like you said, because I needed a job, but I found it very, very soon into my broadcasting career. I don't think I would ever want to do anything else. I know I wouldn't now, but even after 2, 3 years early in the game, no, this is where I was meant to be. I was meant to be in broadcasting because, again, it is tough to find a job that you've been doing for 50 plus years and you can't wait to get up each morning and go to work. I think that says a lot about the job you're doing.
Yeah, the broadcasters I've talked to, they never talk about retirement because it's like a thing that just doesn't exist. They're like, oh, I'm just gonna keep going and whatever happens, happens. And I love that. I think that's
I
awesome.
think that's a fair statement. I really do. And again, I think it's also because I'm a realist. I do not dig a ditch for a living. Okay. I get up in the morning, and the toughest thing I will do today is I have to record when we're finished a 30-minute show that's going to be live on our network, or it's going to be on our network Saturday. So that's the toughest thing I'm going to do today. So are you kidding me? That's not real tough. Yeah, I've said a long time. I don't have to drive a truck. I don't have to dig a ditch. My hands very seldom get dirty. So yeah, it's a great, it's reward filling. It really is.
So for those that want to get into the business, maybe a young professional like myself, what advice would you give to those people?
Decide what you want to do, and then don't take no for an answer. You're going to get a lot of no's. You're going to get a lot of no's. That's just the way we are that today. But don't take that as the final answer. Know what you want to do and then go do it. And you can. If you can, and I know it seems like an old cliche, but today with the world we're in, if you can dream it, you can achieve it. There's no doubt. Don't take no. Just know what you're going to do and then go do it. Simple. And it really is simple.
I love that answer. I mean, I try to embody that. It's hard, but
It's hard.
I
Yeah, you're right.
I think, if you think about it and you keep your mind to it, absolutely.
Yeah.
But
And I think if you know what you want to do and genuinely know, I mean, do some really deep self dive, okay? And you know that's what I want to do. Stay with it. Stay with it. You will achieve it. You will.
yep. All right, Fred, I'm going to do one last thing. I'm going to give the microphone to you. If there's anything you want to say, any thoughts you have, the floor is now yours.
It is an honor to do what I do every day. No question. I've done it for so long. I cannot honestly see myself not doing it. Will I retire? Maybe. Probably not. I will probably leave this world and they'll have to pry this cold microphone from my hand, but I love what I do every day.
Awesome. Well, once again, congratulations to Fred Persinger, the West Virginia Sportscaster of the Year. It's been an honor talking to you, Fred.
Thank you, Blake.
Thank you.